Bonaire looks easy when you step off the ship, and that's exactly why so many cruisers waste this port. The mistake isn't picking the wrong beach or missing one site. It's starting the day without choosing one clear plan and underestimating how quickly heat, distance, and timing eat into your 6 hours. I'm going to show you the simple fix that turns this into one of your best port days. I'm Charlie from Travel Day Trip Ideas. Today, we're covering Kralendijk in Bonaire, and this place rewards smart planning more than almost any other Caribbean port. When you step off the ship at the North or South Pier, you're steps from downtown Kralendijk. The colourful waterfront is right there, shops and cafes line the streets, and the whole setup feels wonderfully simple. The town itself is walkable, maybe 10 minutes end to end. But the best experiences in Bonaire aren't at the pier. They're scattered across the island, and distances add up faster than you expect. Before we dive into the day, you need to pick one lane or you'll feel rushed. Lane 1 is town plus water. Stay close, snorkel near the port or Te Amo Beach, grab lunch in town and keep it simple. Lane 2 is Klein Bonaire. Beautiful white sand, excellent snorkeling, but it requires a water taxi and strict timing discipline. Lane 3 is the South Highlights Loop. Salt pans, flamingos, slave huts and a beach. This needs transport and eats up most of your day. Most cruisers try to combine 2 or 3 of these and quietly lose half their day to heat and logistics. Pick one anchor and build around it. A lot of visitors choose tours here because they handle the driving, the timing, and the heat without you having to think about it. Cruise line excursions work, but they're usually more expensive for the same experience. Local tours offer better value, smaller groups, and they know exactly how to get you back on time. If you want to see the salt pans, the flamingos, and a beach without managing it all yourself, a guided option makes sense. Most cruisers get this wrong because they stack too much or misjudge timing. Tours remove that risk. We've added links to our recommended local tours in the description if you want to check those out later. Walk off the pier and head straight into town. The streets are lined with pastel buildings, and the whole area feels tidy and calm. Fort Orange sits right at the waterfront, a small historic landmark with a lighthouse and great views back toward your ship. It's a quick photo stop, not a full attraction. Just beyond the fort, you'll find the main shopping street, Calle Grande, with local shops, cafes, and a few gelato spots that are genuinely good. Here's mistake number 1. Most cruisers assume there's a great beach right at the pier. There isn't. The small beach near the port is rocky and not set up for a proper beach day. People waste an hour wandering around looking for sand when the real beaches require a taxi or water taxi. That wasted morning, plus the heat drain, equals frustration and a day that starts to unravel. If beach time is your priority, plan your transport early and don't expect to stumble onto it. If you're staying close to the ship, grab a coffee at one of the waterfront cafes and just enjoy the calm. Bonaire doesn't rush you, and that's part of its charm. But if you want more, this is where you commit to a plan. For those heading out, Klein Bonaire is the classic choice. It's a small, uninhabited island just offshore, reachable by water taxi from near the port. The crossing is short, often 10 to 30 minutes depending on the boat, and the island has beautiful white sand and excellent snorkeling. The water is clear, the reef is healthy, and you'll see colourful fish right off the beach. Water taxis run regularly, but you must confirm the last return boat before you leave. Missing it means scrambling for an expensive private ride or getting stuck. This is one port where a lot of people book a tour because the timing is tight and the distances add up. If you want to see the salt flats, the flamingos, and still get some beach time, a guided option removes the guesswork and keeps everything on schedule. If you're doing Klein Bonaire on your own, bring water, snacks, and reef-safe sunscreen. There's very limited shade and minimal facilities, just sand and sea. It's beautiful, but you need to be prepared. Bonaire's protected marine park requires a nature tag for many water activities, so check with your operator or rental shop before you go. For those staying on the main island, Te Amo Beach is the easiest option. It's about 10 to 15 minutes by taxi from the port, and it's a proper beach with calm water and a relaxed vibe. There's limited shade, so bring an umbrella or plan your timing. The snorkeling here is decent, and you're close enough to the ship that you're not gambling with return times. For lunch, skip the tourist spots right at the pier and find a local place in town. Try a fish sandwich or some fresh grilled snapper with rice and beans. The fish here is remarkably fresh, and the prices are reasonable. You'll also find local hot sauces and spices at the market near the port, and they make great souvenirs that actually taste good. Here's mistake number 2. Not confirming your return transport before you leave. Taxis in Bonaire aren't infinite, and if you're at a beach or out at the salt flats, you can't assume a taxi will appear when you need it. Confirm the return time with your driver, agree on a pickup spot, and if you're taking a water taxi, double-check the last departure. This is non-negotiable. This is where a guided option saves you stress, because the driver is already committed to getting you back. If you're exploring the island, the south side is where the iconic sights are. The salt pans stretch out in shades of pink and white, and the old slave huts sit along the coast as a sobering reminder of the island's history. The flamingos gather in the shallow lagoons, and on a good day, you'll see dozens of them. The drive south takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and the landscape shifts from town to desert to coast. It's beautiful, but it's also hot and exposed. Bring water, wear a hat, and don't underestimate the sun. Here's the premium versus budget breakdown. The premium route is booking a local tour that takes you to the salt flats, the flamingos, and a beach, all in one loop. You see everything without the stress of driving, timing, or heat exhaustion. The budget version is taking a taxi to Te Amo Beach, spending the day there, and maybe walking around town before or after. You'll save money, but you'll miss the island's unique landscapes. Both work. It just depends on how much you want to see and how comfortable you are managing the logistics yourself. As the afternoon winds down, make your way back toward the port. The heat in Bonaire drains you faster than you expect. People plan big days and then find themselves exhausted by mid-afternoon. Leave yourself at least 90 minutes before all aboard time and build in a buffer for traffic or taxi delays. Here's mistake number 3. Trying to do too much. 1 anchor wins. 3 anchors ruins the day. Bonaire is easy until you stack town Klein Bonaire and a South Island loop into one day. The distances, the heat, and the transport friction turn a relaxed day into a rushed one. Choose 1 anchor activity and do it well. That's the secret to a great day here. On the walk back to the ship, we stopped at a small cafe and grabbed a cold drink. The waterfront was quiet, the ship was right there, and the whole day felt manageable because we didn't overreach. That's Bonaire. It rewards simplicity. If you only do one thing today, make it the water. Whether that's Klein Bonaire, Te Amo Beach, or just snorkeling near the port, the ocean here is what you came for. The rest is bonus. Most cruisers get Bonaire wrong because they start wrong. We've added our recommended local tours in the description below. They're good value, smaller groups, and they understand cruise timing. Tell us how you'd spend your day in Bonaire and keep watching for the next port.